welcome to the 45th episode of NICU and Beyond with Tracy and Stacy. We'll say our little happy holidays at the end here. Our topic today is going to be Periventricular Leukomalacia, or PVL for short. So what is PVL? It is a type of brain injury. Each part of the name provides some information about the disorder. I'm going to talk about what it means, and then Stacy's going to give a little bit more in-depth information on it. Peri means around. Ventricular means relating to the ventricles or the fluid-filled spaces in the brain. Leuko means white matter, a type of brain tissue. With PVL, some of the white matter near the ventricles is damaged. This creates small holes in the brain that can affect the nervous system. Now I'm going to let Stacy talk a little bit more about it in terms of prematurity and in the NICU.
So there are many causes of PVL. It is often caused by a change in the blood flow to the areas around the ventricles. You may need to talk to your baby's neonatologist or doctor for more details, but there are babies that will have strokes in utero, and there's nothing you can do about that. Please, if your baby did have a stroke in utero and then shows signs of PVL after they're born, there is nothing that you did wrong. One nurse in particular, her baby had a stroke in utero. Her son doesn't have PVL, but he does have other issues related to a stroke. Premature babies are more likely to have PVL than full-term babies, but I also know of a local pediatrician who their son was born with PVL, and there was nothing that they could do. No causes, don't know why, and he has cerebral palsy, which is one of the things that can happen with PVL. So one of the causes with PVL, it occurs when the brain tissue has been injured or has died. This can be due to a lack of blood flow to the brain tissue before, during, or after birth that causes the PVL, and it's rarely possible to tell when or why this happens. And PVL is something linked to bleeding inside the brain or intraventricular hemorrhage or IVH. While a baby is in NICU, a lot of times we don't see the symptoms of PVL because symptoms of PVL have to deal with impaired vision, which we can't tell if the babies have impaired vision. We do hearing screens on all of our babies. A lot of times, the only symptom that we see in the NICU with the PVL is the tone of the baby, and if they're very, very tight. Also, the diagnosis will be done by MRI. MRI is a test that produces an image of the structures inside the body. And just so you know that MRIs do not use radiation. The other thing is that all of our babies, especially the ones that are born premature, 24 weeks and older, we do head ultrasounds. We would see the fluid building up in the ventricles.
Do infants and small children with PVL have permanent problems? The long-term impact of PVL depends on how much of the brain tissue that's been damaged. Some of the babies that I've seen have developmental delays, and that's why I saw them in either the NICU or in early intervention and got to see the actual MRI reports to see that they had PVL as a diagnosis. There's also an increase in motor disorders and problems, like Stacy said, with vision, hearing, and coordination. I've had some babies and small children have problems with motor planning, apraxia. So a lot of these kids may look at you puzzled because they may not be able to process what you're asking them to do. And once they do process what they need to do, they can't initiate the movement or they can't initiate the words. PVL sometimes leads to movement and muscle disorders. And like Stacy said, the biggest one is cerebral palsy. For me as an OT, usually the pediatrician will order early intervention here in Pennsylvania, and that's usually PT, OT, speech, vision, and whatever services they need. The nice part is, even though they have this diagnosis, they can still have the ability to rewire the pathways in the brain that was affected by the PVL. So a lot of their motor planning and some of these developmental disorders and delays can really progress. And a lot of them do very well as long as we work with them up until the age of 5 when there's more pliability of the brain.
So one of the other places that our NICU refers our babies to, even if there's not signs of PVL, we have a neurodevelopmental clinic that the babies are referred to. The one thing I just want to say is that if you see any signs of tightness, you'll know if your baby has hearing issues or doesn't follow your gut. and please push for your baby to be seen or have an MRI. The sooner that these babies get diagnosed with cerebral palsy is the sooner that the treatment and the OTs and the PTs in them can work to start rewiring the brain. The brain is an amazing thing. Fortunately, children can rewire their brains more than what adults can. The cerebral palsy doesn't usually deal with their mental ability. It's mostly related to muscular spasticity. I have a NICU grad who is now 22 and he has cerebral palsy. He did get his tendons lengthened so that he can walk better. He is a Microsoft certified and a very good computer geek. So these babies with PVL can go on to make big strides and become basically productive adults. Just become educated about the PVL and always be your child's cheerleader.
I hope this podcast has been helpful to you. If you liked it, please like it. If you want to follow us, please follow us. You can also find us at www.parentnicuconnection.com, or you can look at the website www.peds.thinkifit.com. We'll see you in a couple weeks, and happy holidays. Bye-bye.